My dear friend, Stephen Larkin, it is so lovely to have you on the virtual pink couch. Thank you for joining me. And for those viewers who don't know the background, Stephen, I think we owe it to them to explain your connection with Intrepid and your history with it, and now your return to it.
Okay, so wonderful to see you, Nina. As always, thank you for having me back. I think our last interaction was at the Virgin Atlantic
Yes, it was.
party in Toronto, and your last question was, "Is this it for you?" And I think I kind of teased and said, "Well, maybe we'll see how it goes." And I certainly thought I was going to make my way down to Brazil and swing in a hammock for the rest of my life and enjoy life. But I soon became a boomerang employee to Intrepid. So I'll wind back the clock just a little bit. I was employee number one at Intrepid Travel, started the company for Intrepid back in 2008.
Okay,
Then left.
no. You're running through that as though it's nothing. Hang
Yeah.
on. I started the company.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
everybody hear that?
I was the OG. I was the OG.
Yes, the OG.
So I was employee number one with Intrepid and started the company. And then Delta Airlines came knocking in 2014. And I left, went for Delta, worked for 10 years as Director of Sales Canada at Delta and our joint venture partners. Had an amazing career in aviation, took a retirement package. Thought that was it. And then got a call from Intrepid asking if I would be willing to come back in this new capacity as Senior Vice President, Global Sales and Partnerships. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Slightly different company now than it was in 2008.
It's
Just a bit.
Yeah, it's a very different company. And it's interesting to come back in the second iteration and to see how we're on the precipice of being the world's largest adventure travel company. We had plans of reaching over $1 billion of revenue this year. So the world's first ever billion-dollar adventure travel company.
Wow.
That aspiration might shift a little bit, although we're keeping that as our goal for the year, just in light of what's happening in the world.
Is there something happening in the world, Stephen?
Just a little bit of uncertainty. But I keep thinking that, this is not our first rodeo. Right? You, me, and everybody watching, this is not our first rodeo. It's a different kind of rodeo, but we also know that once this ends, and it will end, that this massive boom is going to happen again, and we'll just be in the same position where we were coming out of COVID, where the demand is going to outpace the availability.
Yeah, I can see that coming, no question, because there is a lot of uncertainty, and I think you're seeing it as well, probably in the bookings, a little hesitation. Is that correct?
So, a little bit of hesitation, more cancellations than we would normally see in a normal environment. However, people booking well into 2027. So our forward bookings are well in advance of where they were in the past.
Oh, that's so interesting. Of course, that makes so much sense. Won't go now, but we'll go next year.
Or we'll stay a little bit closer to home. So our Canada product almost sold out. So if you are interested in joining, or if one of your customers is interested in joining a Canada trip, jump on now because this 2026 season is almost sold out.
And Canada is rocking and rolling for Intrepid. Is that correct? Yes or no, and why?
So yes and no on both fronts. So on the operational front, for the trips that we operate in Canada, rocking and rolling. Not only Canadians looking to stay a little bit closer to home, but our American friends who are willing to cross the border and come here and experience all the great things that Canada has to offer, plus international travelers choosing Canada.
Also, but point of sale Canada for your international product as well, right?
As well. Okay. So Canada remains, for the second year running, Intrepid's fastest growing source market.
Wow.
Incredible growth.
Wow.
High double-digit growth. We're seeing it across all channels, but we're mainly seeing it from our industry partners. So thank you.
Really? So it's through the trade?
Through the trade.
And why?
Direct, but greater growth through the trade than in our direct channel.
Which is what we want to hear. Why is Canada growing at such a lightning speed? I mean, at point of sale, in other words.
I think it's just the right product at the right time. And the Canadian traveler is just really attuned to this style of travel. You'll notice that the word adventure doesn't even sit in our logo, in our brand, right? We are Intrepid Travel, and our mission is to create positive change through the joy of travel. So it's all about just doing all the right things as you travel. You're with a small group, maximum group size 12. On some of our trip styles, it's up to 16, but the average is about 12. Wonderful range of products across Basics, Original, Comfort, and our new premium range, which speaks very nicely to the Canadian customer. And then within that, we have 20 different themes. And one of the themes that we're really thrilled to showcase is our women's expeditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, women's only trips.
Yeah.
Run by women, for women, supporting women-owned accommodation, supporting women tour leaders, going to the projects that support women entrepreneurs in destination. Is just a really, really cool trip style and story.
That dovetails so nicely with a column that we're going to be launching by Mushroom Hours around women solo travel, which is such an incredibly huge growth market. You even are bringing it up as a huge part of the focus for your product development. So it's got to be booming.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing as a trend. And if we think about our demographics, over 60% of our customers are female travelers. And then within that, if you were to ask somebody 10 years, if we had this conversation 10 years ago, Nina, or 11 years ago when I was with Intrepid, the story would have been completely different. It would have been about educating what adventure travel, or as we like to reference it, sustainable, experience-rich travel looks like. Right. We're not running away from the word adventure, but we're just framing it a little bit differently because it means something different to everybody.
You know what's funny? We get so many press releases with research on adventure. I think I could run an article almost every single day on adventure, soft adventure being, of course, the focus word lately, so that people are not so much looking to really challenge themselves, but they do want to have that experience of being. There's just so much about the growth. What is it, do you think, about, and this is global, of course, what is it that you think about the market, the demographics, the aging population? Like, what is fueling this?
I think it's a desire to really slow down the travel experience, to get more out of where you travel to than just checking off a list.
Right.
It's about getting a little bit more immersing and getting a little bit deeper in the experiences, and not just going to France and seeing the Eiffel Tower, if that makes sense. Well, we've all done it and we've all loved it, and it's still a memory that I will enjoy for the rest of my life. It's really when you get a little bit deeper into the destination, you're traveling with a small group, you're led by a local leader, somebody who really understands where you're traveling to. They're taking you to restaurants that the big coach tours will never get near, never see, don't even know exist. So it's just providing this experience that you can only get by traveling with a company like Intrepid and experiencing things that you'll never experience otherwise, especially if you tried it yourself.
Stephen, your role at Intrepid, tell us a little bit about that. Okay. You're brought on board to do what?
So title is Senior Vice President, Global Sales and Partnerships. And the remit, especially in this first year, is a clear, keen focus on the North American market. I mean, this is where I'm from. This is the market that I know. This is the market that I love. And this is the market that I think has amazing potential for a company like Intrepid. If we think of Intrepid being an Aussie-based company, Canada is larger than Australia. We're 10 million more people. So we should be the size of Intrepid Forester in Australia as it is in Canada. So really the focus is laser focused on Canada, laser focused on the US, looking at traditional market partnerships. So any of the trade partners out there who are looking and want more information, please feel free to reach out to me. We're all ears. We want to see how we can partner, but also non-traditional partnerships. And I think I've got a few things coming the way that I just can't let out of the bag just quite yet. But some cool, fun stuff to really set Intrepid apart.
Are you part of developing some of these new products? For instance, I think a couple of days ago we ran something about uncommon tours in Europe where, small little groups could go to places that are a little bit less crowded. So all these ideas, all these innovations, are you part of that?
I'm not part of that personally. So there's a really wonderful, smart experiences team based in Melbourne who are, because we own now 40 DMCs, 40 destination management companies, fully owned by Intrepid. Big key differentiator. We own that product from the ground, by the time you land on the ground, by the time you leave. So as an agent, chances are you'll never hear from your customer unless they're calling you to tell you what a wonderful time they're having at Intrepid. Because when and if things go wrong, because things go wrong, they're solved there on the spot on the ground, not dealing with a third-party operator, not then trying to get back in touch with your travel agent. It's just a really clear, smooth process. But our experiences team works hand in hand with our fully owned DMCs, and together they come up with these wonderful ideas.
Have you had to shift, speaking of when things go wrong, have you had to shift some of the product focus away from the Middle East? I don't know how much product you had in there.
Yeah, tons of product in the Middle East. I mean, one of our
Mm.
top selling destinations, two of our top selling destinations from Canada, Morocco and Egypt, were doing exceptionally well until February 28th or whatever that horrible day was. Now we've just seen a little bit of a shift away from those destinations and people traveling elsewhere. Europe is still exceptionally popular. Traveling south to South America, Latin America. I'm calling in from my home in Puerto Vallarta. We've got some great trips in Mexico. So there's a lot of stuff that Canadians can do by shifting away travel from the Middle East or anything that would have connected them through the Middle East. We have over 1,000 trips. There's plenty to choose from.
Is Asia still as popular as it was, or does the connect, because of course you can choose to connect through the Middle East or you can choose to connect traditionally through Europe. So is it affected at all, or of the Pacific rather, I should say, depending where you are?
We don't see any shift away from Southeast Asia, China,
Okay.
Japan, number one
Still hot.
destination. I mean, Japan just it's really all about Japan. And the really nice thing there is the average sales price is so high. So if you're a travel agent thinking where should I
Mm.
sell, think Japan. It's a really high average sale price, and you'll make some really nice commissions.
Now, part of your channel, part of your title is partnerships.
Yep.
And of course, you know the industry, you know the players, you know the distribution channels from your airline days very, very well. Are you going out there sort of making those connections to the trade that you say is already a strong relationship, but is that what you're
Yeah,
also working on?
absolutely. There's already really strong partnerships in place from the time that I started the business and was with Intrepid for 5, 6 years until I moved on to Delta, which created a whole bunch of different opportunity for me to
Yeah.
tap into. Right, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's some really cool stuff coming along the way in the partnership
Ah,
space. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. You can't give us a hint, can you? I mean, it's us
okay.
here. It's just us.
Darn those NDAs.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about it. Stephen, it's just such a pleasure to have you back. Honestly, I at that Virgin event when we were saying,
Yeah, we were a little bit teary-eyed. I felt a little bit teary there.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and here you are. Wonderful. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And
Can I end with one thing?
yes,
One of our taglines is the world needs more intrepid people. We want more people to experience the intrepid way of traveling. You included, Nina. We're going to get you on a trip. We're going to make this happen.
I'm in. I'm in.
Done. Done.
Wonderful.
Easy as
Thank,
that.
and you're going to let us know first, of course, when you have all these NDAs that are expiring and you
You
can
will
actually
be the first.
share.
You will be the first to know.
Thank you, Stephen. Talk
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you.